You can please have your seats. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the National Transformation Alliance's last and final rally or public meeting here at our headquarters in Mount Lambert. I am Commander Norman Dindial, Deputy Political Leader, and your candidate for Shogunas East. And joining me tonight,
I am Marsha Walker, your candidate for Diego Martin West.
And we will be your hosts for this evening's proceedings for the first half, actually.
Wait, listen, the media like to catch you with all kind of weird facial. See, you just did it. You have to like wait for you to say something like, pretend I'm speaking. You know?
So you can hear it. Come, ladies and gentlemen, give yourselves a round of applause. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for coming out tonight, and thank you for coming out and listening to us here in Mount Lambert. And as you can see, we are a force to be reckoned with. We are a force definitely to be reckoned with. And we will be going tonight straight into our proceedings, and it's going to be different. It's differently tonight, as we will be introducing some of our candidates before the main candidate speaks on this topic.
I want to find something. That's what you'll see me looking for right now. We got a message from our First Lady. I'll find it. Where is it, boy?
And our first lady, you know who's the first lady, right? We have.
Who's our First Lady? Wait, I have to say who is our First Lady? Nah, man. Not at all.
I think they all know. Miss Nicolen Griffith.
Listen, the powerhouse of powerhouse. We love her. She is amazing. And so I wanted to just let y'all know what happens behind the scenes in the NTA, right? I mean, you would never think Nicole is going through what she's going through because she's still our biggest cheerleader. She's still there watching over us, making sure everything is organized. And first thing this morning, we wake up to this in the candidates chat. Good morning. They've got money. We've got fire. They've got machines. We've got a mission. We are here to play. We are not here to play it safe. We are here to make history. Every poster we tape, every door we knock, every word we speak, it all matters. Not because we have everything, but because we are willing to give everything. Remember this, revolutions don't start with power. They start with a few brave souls who refuse to be small. Let them underestimate us. That is how we will win. Trinidad and Tobago, this party may look small. Our crowds may not be paid. We didn't have corporation money and we didn't have contractors money. But make no mistake, our 17 candidates have heart, might, and soul for the rest of the candidates multiplied by the 17 or 16 parties that join. This is a small but a mighty, mighty, mighty little army that we have found. Our first candidate that we're going to reintroduce to you tonight is Russell Chan, your next member of parliament for Diego Martin Central.
Let's hear it for Russell Chan. Chan and the man with the plan. That's Mr. Russell Chan, your candidate for Diego Martin Central. Let's hear it for him. Thank you so much, Russell. Thank you so much, Russell. And our next candidate, our candidate for Port of Spain South, Miss Gail Gonzalez Castaneda. Let's hear it for Miss Gail Gonzalez Castaneda. And yes, Gail. Let's hear it up for Gail. Yay. Gail has a huge section here with her. Look at the support. Look at the people for Gail. your candidate for Port of Spain South, Gail Gonzalez Castaneda. Give it up for Gail.
Your next member of parliament for Port of Spain South. And third on the list of our 17 brilliant next member of parliament, we have Christine Nawalo Hussein, your candidate for Toko Sangre Grande.
And as you know, Toko is a far place, so Christine is making her way here. She's making her way here. All the way from Toko Sangre Grande, Christine Nawalo Hussein. Let's give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up.
Thank you, Christine. And our next candidate, Davian Baines, your candidate for San Juan Barataria.
Mr. George Gonzalez.
Let's give it up for Davy. And as his supporters leave the stage, we invite Davy to remain on the stage as he is our first speaker for the night. Oh, guess what, Davy? You get them to stay while you speak. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we welcome a man whose mission has always been to serve, to uplift, and to transform lives. A voice for the voiceless, and a fighter for unity. He is the founder and president of AS1 Movement, an NGO that has been a beacon of hope and change since 2019. Under his leadership, AS1 has rebuilt shattered homes, restored broken spirits, and reignited hope across communities. From disaster recovery to frontline support, from youth empowerment to real lasting healing. This is not just community service for him. This is about nation building. And now, as a proud candidate of the National Transformation Alliance, he brings that same passion, that same purpose, and that same unshakable belief in people to the national stage. Let us welcome on stage your candidate for Barataria San Juan, Davian Baines.
Good evening. Testing. Good evening. Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. That was a dead good evening. Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. I was talking about. Good evening, the political leader, Captain Gary Griffith, and the executive team. And a special good evening to Mrs. Nicolen Griffith, the strength of NTA. All right, finally too quiet for that one. Good evening, Mrs. Nicolen Griffith. Nice. My name is Davian Baines. I stand before you not just as a candidate for Barataria Sawa, but as someone who knows the struggles of the streets, the dreams of the youths, and the potential of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Reality is that these ministers on both sides are completely disconnected from the people of Trinidad and Tobago. They don't understand what we go through on a regular daily basis. They sit in their offices, they make decisions for us. They are not even trying to understand what we go through. Crime is rampant, unemployment is high, and both go hand in hand. One of the major reasons why crime is this high is the lack of opportunity for the youth. Everywhere I go, between Malik, Mova, Bitam, Sawa, disciplined young men, brilliant young women, tech-savvy minds, ready to lead us into the future. And all they have to say, we have dreams, but no doorways. That's the tragedy of Trinidad and Tobago. Talent overflowing, opportunity missing. What we need to realize as a country, all these youths just want to be a part of something. We are the NTA. Rather the youths not be gang affiliated. We rather they be part of a sports team, a job creation workshop, or even online gaming. Because online gaming and online streaming is where our future is headed. These youths behind me, somebody might be the next Kaisenat or the next Aiden Ross. Sure, you all even know their names. Because the youths, you are our future. This is why youth development in the NTA is not just a footnote. It's the NTA's roadmap to transformation. It's the cornerstone. And this is why Gary Griffith could confidently say, sports will keep the youths out of trouble. Understand? So if you're still undecided of which party to vote for, the decision is simple. So let me cast a little scenario for you. And I really want you all to answer. If you had to send your child to learn leadership and good qualities from a political party, which political party would you trust to mentor your child? Tell me. Stewart and his team? Kamala, Anna, blah, 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 blah. Or Gary Griffith and the brilliant minds of the NTA? I want you to understand why voting for the NTA should be the easiest choice of your life. I'm not here to play games or make promises. I'm here to serve and bring real change to Barataria Sawo. I operate under the LAMP model. It guides every decision I make. It's not just about talk, it's about measurable, real results. You must be able to see the difference, feel the impact, and hold me accountable. And let me say this to my constituents of Barataria Sawo. If I ever fail you, if I ever let you down, when you see me walking in the streets, don't be afraid to splash water on me. Don't be afraid. Because if you fail in life, I would have failed as your representative. So for the sake of the youth's future, this is our time to demand better. This is our time to say enough is enough. Barataria Sawo, this is our moment. Let's stand up together and make real change. My name is Davian Baines, and on April 28th, vote for the NTA. Good night, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, give it up for Davian.
It's time for a brighter day. We vote in vain for change. Vain for change. We vote in vain for change. Vain for change.
As we continue introducing our candidates, our next up is Salim Samuel for Diego Martin Northeast. Salim Samuel, Diego Martin Northeast. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Samuel George.
So let us save our nation. No! NT, we vote in NTA. Voting, we vote in NT.
Let's give it up again for Samuel George. Salim George.
Yeah!
Our next candidate from Port of Spain North.
Criminals have no fear.
Our next candidate from Port of Spain North is none other than Richard Thomas, the Blazer man himself. The Blazer man that is in front at the Oval. The Blazer man that has knocked you out of the park. The Blazer man that have all the balls.
Gary Griffith got the plan.
Bishop Thomas. Our next candidate, the candidate for St. Augustine, none other than Dr. Vera Ramlal.
Let me see hands up with the NTA straight to the we voting NTA, go blue. NTA is the way, go blue.
Dr. Ramlal, they're holding you back. Your candidates don't want to let you out, Dr. Ramlal. You have them so engaged in conversation tonight. They want to hear all of your plans and policies.
We voting NTA. We voting NTA. We voting NTA. You're good to go, you're great to go on. Tell them no lie, you are the man. Karen, hey!
On the ballot, you will see Vera Duki Ramlal. Give it up for Dr. Vera Duki Ramlal, your next member of parliament for St. Augustine. And our final candidate in this round of brilliant NTA transformers, we have the candidate for St. Anne's East, Jason Roper. Let's give it up for Jason Roper, your candidate and next member of parliament for St. Anne's East.
Our second speaker tonight is a man who has lived life on the ground, in the heart of communities, and on the front lines of service. From behind the wheel of a truck to behind the mic as a conscious reggae artist. He has years of experience transporting inmates for the state and has seen firsthand the failures of our justice system and the human cost of broken promises. That journey opened his eyes to the urgent need for reform, dignity, and a government that listens to the people. He isn't just a man on the road, he's a man of rhythm and reason. As a reggae artist, he channels the pulse of the people into powerful messages of unity, empowerment, and transformation. His music speaks truth. His work speaks volume. Now, he's stepping forward as a candidate for the National Transformation Alliance, not as a politician, but as a servant leader. He's bringing the grip of real-life experience, the heart of an artist, and the discipline of a man who understands systems from the inside out. Let's welcome your candidate for St. Anne's East, Jason Reese Roper, grounded, gifted, and ready to create transformation.
We want good governance, not fantasy. National Transform Alliance, that's the party, I say, give TG a chance. You gonna make sure no one deal with the matter, because the country is tough, and you know we not.
Sentences. Good night. Good night to each and every one of you. And before I go on further, I just want to thank God for the health and strength for bringing me here today to speak to a bunch of lovely people. Give yourself a round of applause. I must say good night to Mr. Gary Griffith and his lovely wife, Nicolen Griffith. I'm not seeing her here, but I hope all is well. Good night again. Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. And special good evening to all gathered here at Mount Lambert, the proud headquarters of the National Transformation Alliance. My name is Jason Reese Roper, and I have the honor tonight to speak to you on an issue that affects every home, every family, every citizen in this country: the rising cost of living. Let me ask you this. How many of you feel like you're working harder than ever and getting less in return? How many of you go to the grocery with high hopes only to leave with 3 bags and $1,000 gone just so? the cost of goods, the cost of food, the cost of gas, the cost of rent, electricity, transport, everything is going up but your paycheck. That seems to be stuck in the past. The truth is, for far too long, governments in this country have mismanaged our economy. They have borrowed recklessly, spent wastefully, and done very little to ease the burden on the people. A result, a nation where the poor gets poorer, the middle class disappear, and family lives paycheck are away from collapse. Every single week, more and more people are struggling to put food on their table, keep the lights on, and send their children to school. But I'm here tonight to say the NTA has a plan, and more importantly, we have the will to act. Our roadmap to transformation doesn't treat the cost of living as a side issue. It is front and center, because we understand that if we want people to live with dignity, to build families, to grow communities, we have to make life more affordable, more stable, and more secure. Let me share our vision. Food security first. We spend over $5 billion annually importing food while local farmers goes bankrupt. That is madness. We will invest, under the NTA, we will invest local agriculture like never before, provide tax breaks and subsidies to farmers, create agriculture co-ops and marketing boards to eliminate middlemen exploitation. We would use idle state lands for farming, promote vertical farming, aquaponics, and climate resilience crop. We will build a digital platform where farmers, producers on livestock, and even persons with excess fruits in their backyard trees can put up their products for sale and be brought by persons in the immediate community and then beyond. When we grow more, we import less. When we support our farmers, we feed our nation. And when we feed our nation, we lower the cost of food for every citizen. That is just not economics. That is common sense. Energy cost release. How can we live in an oil and gas producing country and still have people can't afford to put their lights on? Under the NTA, we will modernize our energy grid and invest in smart metering for infrastructure. Introduce targeted energy relief grants for low-income households. We'll encourage solar panels usage on homes and buildings with proper tax incentive. We will make energy work for the people again. You should never have to choose between electricity and groceries. Affordable, accessible transportation. This is more than what we need. Transportation is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Under the NTA, a national card system offering subsidized travel for students, pensioners, and vulnerable families. We will revamp and regulate the public transportation system to ensure safety, affordability, and punctuality. We will promote and support electric vehicles while installing a network for EV charging stations. We'll make access to affordable transport equals access to jobs, schools, hospital, access to community opportunity, and most importantly, less time on our nation's road in traffic. Lowering the price of basic goods. VAT on essentials is squeezing family dry. We will fix this. Under the NTA, we will expand VAT-free lists to include more essential food like hygiene items. We will clamp down on price gouging with strong anti-profiting laws and support the creation of cooperative groceries and farmers markets to bypass price inflators. This isn't about giving handouts. It's about protecting the consumer. It's about giving people a fair shot. People, what about house and rent stabilization? A house should not be a dream only for the rich. Under the NTA, we will build affordable housing using new constructive technologies, launch rent-to-own plans for families earning under $8,000 a month. We will create a national rental registry to monitor and regulate rent prices. No one should have to choose between rent and medicine, between shelter and education. The LAMP model is our anchor. None of this happens without proper governance. That is why every single initiative will be built on the NTA's LAMP model, which is leadership. That is proactive, not reactive. Accountability. That's accountability for every dollar and every action. Management of national resource with integrity and efficiency. Measurement of performance, so you know what's working and what's not. No more guesswork, no more government by vibes. This is governance by result. Our approach strategy, everything connects, nothing stands alone. That is the philosophy that guides the NTA. Agriculture policy connects to food prices. Transport connects to employment. Housing connects to health and safety. Energy policy connects to environmental policy. It's not just about fixing one part of the system. It is about transforming the entire system to serve the people. So people, I ask you to reflect. How much more can we take? How much longer will we let incompetence and corruption rob our children their future? How many more times will we have to go to the grocery and wonder how we are going to spend or stretch the little that we have? Transformation is not a slogan, it's a necessity. And the NTA is ready. Ready with the roadmap, ready with the team, ready to deliver results you can feel. So on election day, send a message, not just to the PNM, not just to the UNC, but to the entire system. We have had enough. People, let me hear you. We have had enough. We have had enough. Vote for dignity. Vote for progress. Vote for a better life. Vote NTA. May God bless you and the whole of Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Jason Roper. Thank you. St. Francis, the next MP, Jason Roper. Wow. Wow, look at the crowd tonight. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Wow. I would like to thank you all for coming out, and what a powerful lineup of speakers we had.
I know. It's awesome. You know, I'm hearing Jason speaking about anchor, and all I can think about is a ship sailing. And for me, Toko Sandy Grande, they have two lighthouses. One inland, I never hear about that, eh? But one inland and one where it's supposed to be. And I'm thinking we are good, solid sailing with the NTA.
NTA crowd, NTA people, fantastic evening. Christy, I am really happy. Are you happy? Christine, are you happy?
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
I can't hear this crowd like you're sleeping there. What's going on?
I know, and we are here to introduce our 4 candidates for the NTA. And drum roll, drum roll.
That sounded not like a drum roller. I have to do the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a pleasure to introduce Dr. Kevin Saran for San Fernando West, your candidate. And the next MP for San Fernando West, Dr. Kevin Saran. Welcome.
Gary Griffith got the blood blue. So let us save our nation. No! NT, we voting NTA. Voting, we voting NTA. Voting, we voting NTA. Voting, we voting NTA. Listen, we living in fear. Criminals everywhere. Robbery, shooting, murder, squeeze, and criminals have no fear. When Gary was on top.
Thank you, Doctor. What a beautiful response. And of course, we have the glory of God. Because this next candidate has such a name, and it is no other than Shekinah Sergio. And she represents Arima. Come on up, Arima. Next MP for the NTA.
Let's welcome Shekinah, the next MP for Arima. Welcome. Come on. I'm not here in this crowd, you know. Let's welcome Shekinah.
Criminals everywhere. Robbery, shooting, murder, squeeze, and criminals have no fear. When Gary was on top, watch all the crime rate from. Uploading like a clown, wanna chat, yes, we are pointing down. Oh Lord, Gary Griffith wanna say.
Thank you, the next MP for Arima. Let's hear it one more time. Let's welcome our next candidate for Digger Martin West. Let's hear it for Marsha Walker. Come on, Marsha. The next MP. Marsha. Come on, guys.
International Transform Alliance. That's the party. I say, give TG a chance. We gonna make sure.
Let's hear it for Marsha Walker.
Because the times real tough. And you know, we're not giving up. Let me see your hands up. With the NTA, it's straight to the top. We voting NTA. Go blue. NTA is the way. Go blue.
Wow, look at the big support for the next MP.
So let us
Digger Martin West.
no. NT, we voting NTA. Voting, we voting NT. Voting, we voting NTA. Voting, we voting NT. You're good to go, you're great to one. Let them know lie, you are the man. Gary, hey,
Thank you, Marsha. Thank you. Our next MP for Digger Martin West, Mrs. Marsha Walker.
yeah, baby. Trinidad. Soca. Somebody say NTA. Let me go. We voting NTA.
And we want to introduce
NTA is the way.
our fourth candidate for this part of the program. She will also be our next speaker. She's none other than the candidate for Tunapuna Savita, Pierre.
We voting NTA. Voting, we voting NTA. Voting, we voting NTA. Listen, I'm gonna chat his reappointment down. Oh Lord, Gary Griffith wanna serve. Give the country what they deserve. You know he those guy lock hit the PNM straight out of the bar. We vote in NTA. Go blue. NTA is the way. Go blue. Gary Griffith got the plan. Go blue. So let us save our nation. No. NT. We vote in NTA. Voting. We vote in NTA. Voting. We vote in NTA. We vote in NT. Say we want better for TNT. We want
you.
good governance, not fantasy.
Thank you.
In the National Transform Alliance, that's the party. I say,
Savita
give TG a chance.
is a transformative leader. She's seasoned education consultant and passionate advocate for educational reform and community empowerment. As the founder of multiple non-profit organizations, she has pioneered initiatives that address educational trauma, promote self-sufficiency, and chart pathways to long-term success, especially for marginalized communities. She holds a bachelor's degree in business education, a master's in educational leadership and management, and is currently pursuing a doctorate in educational reform. Give it up for our candidate and next MP for Tunapuna, Mrs. Savita Pierre.
So good evening, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Good evening to our political leader and his dear wife. And a very special good evening to all of you gathered here in Mount Lambert tonight. You are gathered as a proud heartbeat of the National Transformation Alliance headquarters. This is not just a movement. This is more than just a movement. This is more than any other political party. This is transformation for Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Savita Pierre. I come before you not as a politician, but as a woman, as a mother, a believer in the power of knowledge, and a passionate advocate for education here in Trinidad and Tobago. Because one thing that we know can truly transform a nation from inside out is education. Not old talk, not recycled slogans, not promises wrapped in fancy paper, or not election jerseys like we see some political parties wrapping money and giving residents. But real structure, measurable education reform that prepares young people not just to pass an exam, but to strive in this life. Let's tell the truth tonight. Our education system, this current education system is outdated. It's crumbling under the weight of inaction, mismanagement, and outdated thinking. Too many students are memorizing to pass an exam and not learning to grow. Too many teachers are working with no support, no innovation, no incentives. Too many parents are watching their children fall through the cracks of this system that was never designed for this generation. And yet still, every election, government pats itself on the back, celebrating just a few CSEC passes while ignoring the thousands of students out here who drop out of school, who struggle, who never got a second chance. NTA will stop that type of education system. They They talk about digital classrooms, while thousands of children here in Trinidad still struggling to access Wi-Fi in a classroom. They talk about job readiness, but graduates walk in the streets with degrees in their hand and nowhere to go, no job opportunities. NTA will put a stop to that here in Trinidad. I say tonight, enough is enough. The national transformation is here to create that change. Guided by our LAMP model, leadership, accountability, management, measurements of performance, we are not making vague promises. We are bringing a blueprint, a roadmap, a real plan to transform Trinidad and Tobago. Here's what this plan looks like. Curriculum overhaul for real world skills. We NTA will redesign the national curriculum to include financial literacy, entrepreneurship, digital and AI literacy, climate education, mental health and emotional intelligence. No child should graduate from secondary school without knowledge of financial literacy, without knowing how to budget, without registering and building a business, or being able to manage their emotions. We are building scholars and we are building productive citizens here in Trinidad. We will bring a tech-forward, inclusive education system. Digital is the future, and Trinidad and Tobago cannot be left behind. Under our plan, every student will have access to devices and affordable connectivity. AI tools will be introduced to personalize and support learning. Teachers will receive specialized training and digital instruction. We are preparing our children for the world that they are entering, not the world they left behind. NTA will ensure respect and support for our teachers. We have any teachers in the house here tonight? Teachers are our backbone of this country, and under NTA government, we will invest in their development with robust training programs. We will provide performance initiatives and wellness support. Reduce unnecessary paperwork and red tape so they can focus on what really matters, teaching. When our teachers strive, our children will begin to soar. Reimagine school as a community innovative hub. We will turn school into centers of community engagement and empowerment. We will launch after-school programs in leadership, arts and skill development, providing parents with counseling and support service, fostering youth clubs and safe spaces for expressing and learning. The school must be the center of community transformation. Under the NTA, we will expand technical and vocational education training for all learners, partnering with industries to match training with labor market needs. And we will equip students with skills that earn not just certificates and decorate certificates on our walls. Our children will be trained to enter one time into the workforce environment. The NTA will ensure from early childhood to lifelong learning. We will invest in from the cradle to career, expanding early childhood centers with trained staff and diagnostics. We will provide parents with education and intervention for at-risk homes. We will launch lifelong learning and upskill platforms for adults. Under the NTA, we will implement measurements and outcome-driven governance under our LAMP model. Each school will have a performance scorecard. Education districts will be held accountable for results. Parents and students will have an input in the school operations. No more excuses, no more hiding. It is time for results in our education system here in Trinidad and Tobago. NTA will use the integrated strategic approach. But here's what will make our approach different. We don't treat education as an isolated ministry. It is woven into every sector, every fiber of our transformation agenda here under the NTA umbrella. It is linked to agriculture through school gardens and youth agro programs. It is linked to national security through violence prevention and anti-gang initiatives. It is linked to health through school feeding, wellness, and mental health support. One nation, one plan, one purpose for this transformation under the National Transformation Alliance. My friends, if we fix education, we fix inequality. If we fix education, we fix poverty here in Trinidad. If we fix education, we fix crime. If we fix education, we fix hopelessness. The NTA is not just another party. We are a movement of ideas, of action, of people who believe that education is not just a policy item. It is the heartbeat of this national development here in Trinidad and Tobago. So tonight, I ask you, are you ready to build an education system that prepares your children for a world of change? Are you ready? Are you ready to support your teachers and uplift your schools and transform your communities? Are you ready? Are you ready to vote for a real plan, not recycle promises? Are you ready? Then vote for a vision, vote for value, vote for your future, your children's future, vote NTA, vote transformation. Thank you, and may God bless Trinidad and Tobago.
What a powerful speech.
Gary Griffith got the plan. So let us
Totally powerful. So, Russell, tell me, what has been the most exciting aspect of your walkabout on this campaign trail?
Well, it has been a lot of work, a lot of excitement, but you know, a lot of people have dogs in the communities and some big, big dogs. So me and dog ain't no friend, you know what I mean? So I've had some encounters with some of these dogs, you know, they vex with me. They vex with me because I go on to the NTA. Maybe they vex with me.
Was any a Rottweiler?
Well, they may have had a rut or two, but anyway. But it has been a great campaign so far. Everybody's been so busy. Our chat groups are going and pictures and fantastic response. It's just amazing. People want change.
I know, I've experienced it. Talking about change, let us introduce some more of our candidates who are willing to do exactly what Savita said, bring about a visionary leadership. And let us introduce our first candidate. He is from representing the La Joquita Talparo constituency, our NTA candidate, Alvin Kojo.
Let's hear it for Alvin. Alvin Kojo.
So let us save our nation.
Welcome, Alvin.
Voting,
Making some noise tonight in Aranguez, St. Joseph.
Listen, we're living in fear. Criminals everywhere. Robbery, shooting, murder, squeeze, and criminals have no fear. When Gary was on top, watch all the crime rate drop. Uploading like a clown, wanna chat his reappointment down. Hold on. Gary Griffith wanna serve. Give the country what they deserve. You know he those guys like hit the PNM straight. Out and down. Reporting NTA.
Thank you. You should have heard Alvin speaking, Sandy Grande. He blew the crowd away. Thank you so much, Alvin. And our next candidate representing Point 14 is none other than Uncle Errol Fabian.
That's the party. I say, give TC a chance. We gonna make sure now deal with the matter. Because the country's tough. And you know, we're not giving up. Let me see your hands up. With the NTA, straight to the top. We voting NTA.
Let's hear it. Uncle Errol. Uncle Errol.
So let us save our nation. No! We voting NTA. Voting. We voting NTA.
Point 14, waiting on Uncle Errol. The next MP at Point 14. Just right. Wow. You walk with the whole of Point 14 tonight. Let's keep it flowing. Thank you, Uncle Errol. Thank you to the rhythm section. Let's welcome our next candidate, Norman Dinyal for Chaguanas East. Let's hear it for the next MP.
Yeah, baby. You know it's all about NTA.
Welcome, Chaguanas East. You walk with the whole of Chaguanas East.
NTA is the way. Gary Griffith got the plan. So let us save our nation. No! NT, we voting NTA. Voting, we voting NTA.
And shut.
Voting, we voting NTA. Voting, we voting NTA. Listen, we living in fear. Criminals everywhere.
Thank you.
Robbery, shooting, murder, squeeze, and criminals have no fear. When Gary was on top, watch all the crime rate drop. Uploading like a clown, gonna chat his real.
Thank you.
Gary Griffith wanna serve. Give the country what they deserve. You know he those guys like hit the PNM straight.
Wow. Fantastic energy this evening. It's my pleasure to call upon the next MP, Nicolen Taylor Chinchami, Aruko Lupino. Welcome, Nicolen.
We voting NTA. We voting NTA.
Welcome.
We voting NTA. We want better for TNT. We want good governance, not fantasy. National Transform Alliance, that's the party, I say. teach you a chance. You gonna make sure now and deal with the matter because the time's been tough. And you know we not giving up. Let me see your hands up with the NTA straight to the Tobago blue. We got the NTA.
And so, as I introduce Nicolen, I want to tell you a little bit about this dynamic, driven, and dedicated leader who has been trailblazing her way as a visionary candidate for Aruka Lopi now. With the goal of making to uplift her community, Nicolen brings a sharp focus on infrastructure development, improved local services, and transformative solutions that ensure every resident has the opportunity to thrive. Give it up for Nicolen Taylor Chinchame.
Trinidad!
Hi, good evening, Mount Lambert. Small but mighty, NTA is. Come on, let's hear it. Come on. As I say good evening again to our political leader, none other than Captain Gary Griffith, his wife Nicolen Griffith, our DPLs, and again, members of the audience and those of you who are looking on. My name, again, is Nicolen Taylor Chinchame. I am the candidate for Aruka Lopino, and I am proud to speak tonight as the daughter of Lopino, a community rich in heritage, history, cocoa, coffee, culture, and natural beauty. I am a daughter of the soil, a researcher and entrepreneur, a lover of nature and culture, and a servant of the people. Tonight, I speak to you on two sectors that have been overlooked and underfunded for far too long. None other than agriculture and tourism, but which hold the key to a real diversification and transformation of Trinidad and Tobago's economy. We can feed ourselves, we can brand ourselves, and we can rebuild ourselves from the ground up. Food sovereignty is national security. Let's start with the basics. We import over 5 billion in food every single year, while thousands of acres of arable land sit idle, overgrown, or handed out to party financiers. We import cassava, dasheen, sweet potato, and yet every square foot of Lopino can grow them with excellence. We import chicken, pork, even seasonings, while our local farmers cry out for support. What madness is this? At the National Transformation Alliance, we are done with the old talk. We are here with policy, with a plan, with purpose, guided by our LAMP model: leadership, accountability, management, and measurement of performance. Our agriculture strategy is bold and practical. We are established a National Land Use Authority to audit, allocate, and regulate all state agricultural land. So land goes to real farmers, not real estate agents in disguise. We will create agriculture-only zones with protected tenure and support for youth cooperatives and agripreneurs. We will introduce climate-smart farming, hydroponics, vertical farms, aquaponics, so even an apartment rooftop can be a source of food. We will build agro-processing parks to ensure value-added products, jams, sauces, teas, chocolates can be made right here in Trinidad and Tobago and exported globally. We will train, fund, and mentor youth because agriculture is no longer about, oh God, shovel and hoe and cutlass and thing. It's drones, apps, hydroponics, and agribusiness. And hear this, under the NTA, farmers won't be something we do because we just want to or we have no choice. We will make it a career path, a business, a legacy. Now let's talk about tourism. We in Lupino have seen it with our own eyes. People travel from all over the world to see what we sometimes take for granted right here in Trinidad and Tobago. The cocoa estates, the Creole cooking, the parang, the eco trails, the legends, the music, the soul of our people. But we don't harness it. We don't invest in it. We don't market it. We leave it to die while cruise ships pass us by. The NTA is here to change that. We will transform tourism into a national growth engine. Tourism development districts will be established across the country. Lupino and Blanchisseries for ecotourism. Shoguanas for culinary tourism. How that song in order? Tobago for heritage and beach tourism. And Mayaro for nature-based experiences. Local communities will be trained, funded, and empowered to run their own tourism enterprises. We're talking about guest house, food stalls, artisan markets, and hiking tours. Big hotels have their place, but we do want the small, intimate bed and breakfast businesses and eco-lounges as well. We will launch a digital tourism passport. Now, this is something really, really good. Only listen to this. A seamless experience connecting festivals, historical sites, food tours, and accommodation. And all on your phone. Scan as a barcode in the airport, the taxis, and hotels. Each destination on the passport will come with digital embedded links to locate them and with briefs and bios to entice visitors. We will support year-round cultures, not just carnival, but parang houses in Lupino, stick fighting in Maruga, and the kite festivals in Manzanilla. Now, this is something, it is beauty. Tourism is not about importing a brand. It's about showcasing our own. We have plenty culture here. We don't have to go anywhere. The sights, the songs, the tastes, the traditions. When done right, tourism fuels jobs, boosts small businesses, and fills our hotels. Not with foreigners alone, but with Trinbagonians rediscovering their own country. Like in agriculture to tourism, the Lupino example. Now let me bring it home, literally. In Lupino, we have the blueprint. The agro-tourism is real. We have cocoa estates that could be part of the chocolate-making tours. We have homestays where tourists can wake up and smell the roast bake and cocoa tea. We have parang music that moves your soul and oral histories that date back to the 1800s. What we don't have, people, is the support of the government. Imagine if the Ministry of Tourism works hand in hand with the Ministry of Agriculture. Imagine cocoa trails, cassava festivals, cocoa rub spas, culinary storytelling, parang workshops. This is not fantasy, this is future. With the right investment and oversight under the LAMP model, we can turn rural economies into national treasures. Agriculture and tourism can feed each other, literally and figuratively. The integrated strategic approach, and let me tell you what makes us, the NTA, different. We do not work in silos. Every initiative in our roadmap to transformation is strategically integrated. Agriculture supports health through better nutrition and food security, and we do need it as a people. Tourism supports youth development through cultural expression and jobs. Both connect to education through training and certification. Everything is tied to accountability, transparency, and performance. That's the power of the LAMP model. That's the power of NTA's vision. Brothers and sisters, transformation is not about building taller buildings. It's about building stronger people within our nation of Trinidad and Tobago. It's planting seeds and seeing communities grow. It's about giving farmers hope, giving tour guides opportunity, giving rural youth a reason to stay and build in our nation, not leave and beg. I am not here to promise you miracles. I am here to promise you hard work, vision, and commitment. So I ask you on April 28th, vote. Vote for the future of our land. Vote for the food we grow. Vote for better management. Vote for the communities we love. Vote for NTA. Vote for transformation. The NTA is ready to lead this new era. I am ready to lead you. The time is now for sustainable growth, smart policy, and strategic leadership. So vote for the future you deserve. Vote for the soil and the soul of this nation. Vote for NTA. I thank you, everyone. God bless, and good night.
Thank you, Nicolen. Thank you. Our next MP for Aruka Lopino. You know, talk about some things there. I don't know about you, but you ever dance Coco?
Well, no. But I know we will go and do it soon, right?
I don't know about you, but I dance Coco already. All over Trinidad and Tobago. You know why? Because that's part of tourism. If you all haven't tried it, we'll organize it for you. And so, we have reached a stage where the air is rare. It's a part where I'm going to just do so and sneak out and leave you. Is that okay? I want to leave you, boy.
When I get my hands on a mic, I don't stop, you know.
Well, then I will hold the mic and give you, a little time to talk.
No time. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, it has been a really lovely evening. The vibe is great. The streets are full of people. Be careful out there, guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce our next speaker. Our next speaker needs no introduction, but let us remind the yellow and the red naysayers that our next speaker, who is our political leader and candidate for Aranguez St. Joseph, is bold, is fearless, and result-oriented. He known for his unwavering commitment to national security, integrity in public service, and putting the people of Trinidad and Tobago first. He has decades of experience in both military and civilian leadership. He has earned a reputation as a no-nonsense performer who gets the job done, whether they like it or not. He is a former commissioner of police and former national security minister. He has been at the forefront of fight against crime and corruption. Under his leadership, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service saw significant operational improvements, increased accountability, and a stronger connection with the public. His strategic data-driven approach to law enforcement combined with his no-fear attitude has restored confidence in leadership for many across the nation. Captain Gary Griffith stands ready to lead with discipline, vision, accountability, and action. He is not here to make promises. He's here to make a difference by transforming Trinidad and Tobago. Everyone, let's welcome on stage our political leader, your next member of Parliament for Aranguez St. Joseph, Captain Gary Griffith.
Listen, we living in fear. Criminals everywhere. Robbery, shooting, murder, speed, and criminals have no fear. When Gary was on top, watch out. I'm gonna cut this reappointment down. Gary Griffith wanna serve. Give the country what they deserve. You know he those guys like hit the PNM straight out of the bar. We voting NTA. Go blue. NTA is the way. Go blue. Gary Griffith got the plan. Go blue. So let us say
Good evening to all residents of Aranguez, St. Joseph and environs, to all members, supporters, to the campaign team, to the governance team, candidates of the NTA, members of the media. We are back where we started in this campaign, our home base, Aranguez, St. Joseph. It has been said for years that initially it was St. Joseph, now it's Aranguez, St. Joseph. Who wins this constituency wins the election. No one knows what the result is going to be. No one. But we have seen, just before I get into the meat of what I want to deal with today, is policies to show that we are the party that can transform Trinidad and Tobago. But before we get into that, I just want to run some things here about polls. We've heard polls, and I want you all, do not let your heart be bothered. Dr. Hamed Ghani gave a poll recently, and the poll he gave a perception of what the results might be. His polls were identical to the polls he said in 2015. PNM went in Tobago, everybody loved Kamala in Trinidad, and the UNC got the curtail of their life. So let us take polls with a pinch of salt. I want us to continue to do our job. Regardless of what you see about all of these polls, the fact of the matter is there's a place for the Bridge constituency, the third constituency, and that is what we are here for. The people you all see here and to the media understand this is not a renter crowd. This is not where you see other political parties pumping hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're not seeing 20 and 30, 40 maxi taxis lined up from all different parts of Trinidad and Tobago in their base area to bring them to a meeting. This is where it belongs. This here is the heart and soul of the Bridge constituency, the NTA. I just would like to clarify something. So when I speak about the Bridge constituency, it has to do with persons who are not a PNM till are dead or are born at UNC and are going to die at UNC. And that is okay to all of you all here, to everyone listening to me tonight. If you feel that your life is just to blindly support a party until you die, that is your right. Good for you. There are 200,000 people like that support the ketchup and 200,000 support the mustard. And regardless of what, the political leader could go downtown wearing a jockstrap back to front. They're still going to vote for them. That is how they are. They are blind loyalists. Good for you. We are here to represent that Bridge constituency. Those persons who are independent voters, independent thinkers, persons who can analyze a situation and say, these people are the best persons, not just to lead me, but to serve me. And that's what we are here for. So when you're getting this perception by the public, of persons stating, well, you know, what has happened is that there's a coalition, there's the PNM, and then there's a coalition of interest, and then there's the NTA. I want to state now, make it clear, there is no coalition of interests. Your choice is the
PNM, the UNC, the NTA, and others. And the reason I'm stating that is that the perception you're getting about this coalition, the coalition involves several smaller parties with the UNC. And what the UNC has done, deliberately done, is to manipulate it to such a way that they have given these so-called smaller parties seats that the UNC have never won in their 37 years in existence. So what they have done is a cosmetic thing to fool you into believing there's a place for me and there's a space for me in our UNC coalition. It is not a coalition of interests, it's a coalition of Kamala's interests. So they are trying to have a cosmetic approach to make people believe, look, I'm not PNM, I'm not UNC, but I want to get rid of the PNM, so there might be a space for me in the UNC. There is not. Those 21, the UNC have 19 seats and they've kept their seats. They have now taken the other 8 seats that have a possibility of being won based on the results of 2010. And that I could throw it, and those are seats that they don't have right now because they lost when they got rid of the third party, that being the COP. The St. Joseph, the Tunapuna, the Aruka Lopino, the Dabadi O'Meara, the Arimas, the La Hoquita Talparos, the San Fernando West, all of and Toko Sangre Grande. These were the 8 seats that added to the 19 that gave us the 27 seats in Trinidad plus the 2 in Tobago, making it 29-12. They have taken all 8. They have taken the 19 that they have. So if they win, heaven forbid, there's not going to be a coalition. They are doing the exact thing they did in 2010 to 2015 to destroy the Congress of the People. The Congress of the People had 148,000 votes in 2007, which was my start in politics. And then 2020, they moved to 467. They destroyed the COP by using them, manipulating them, and then kicking them out. And then it became a UNC government because the UNC realized in 2010 they had 21 seats, the COP had 6. And because of that, they said, we have no need for you. And they threw out the COP. This is even worse. They have given the Congress of the People 2 seats that the UNC have never won, and they've given the one-man party, PEP, more seats than the COP. And it means that the UNC wants to have a UNC government and fool and manipulate the floating voters to believe that there's a coalition. So when the UNC gets their 21 seats, they're going to run a UNC government. And if that is what you want, fine. But vote for the UNC. Do not be fooled to think that there's a space for you and a place for you in the coalition. So your choice is PNM, UNC, NTA. There's no coalition inside there. And I want to turn on to the comments being made that that third parties are vote splitters. When people tell you that, I want you to tell them, in plain and simple English, they're fast and out of place. Because when you speak about this thing with these third parties being vote splitters, who gave you the right to say that if I am not supporting the PNM, and none of us are, because our job, we have seen the PNM as arguably being the worst government the country has ever seen, so we want to change. So your choice is between the UNC and the NTA. And you're saying that, well, if you support the NTA, you're going to split the vote. Who made you God to say that your vote belongs to the UNC? Just by that alone shows their lack of respect. And that is how they've operated. When they call those parties pop-up parties, it's because of their arrogance to believe that because we are bigger than you, you are nothing. And if you operate like that, imagine when you're in government, you may belong to a larger religious group, you may belong to a larger political party. You cannot expect to run a government and have that type of arrogance about you when you could refer to parties as smaller parties and you disrespect them. So I want to go actually and to give an example. It is your right, it is anybody's right to support whichever party they want. There have been several persons who have been in the UNC and they are now powerful, well-respected persons in the NTA. We have Christine Nawala Hussain, who was actually a member of parliament in the UNC. We have Marsha Walker, we have Russell Chan, we have several others. And it is their right to leave the one party and join another. Recently, I just want to clarify a situation here because you know we love Bacchanal in this country. Recently, there's been a situation where, and the alderman for the NTA, he was seen in a UNC jersey. That is his right. He and I spoke. That is okay. It is his right to go across there. What I would expect, however, is before you go across there, you should have had the common courtesy to have resigned. So you haven't tendered your resignation to the chairman, but you're in a yellow jersey, in a political meeting, supporting a candidate who's vying against your own political leader. And that's still okay. But when it is you made the comment, he makes a comment and said, well, third parties should just join with the UNC. If that is the case, well, then why form a third party? You should have just joined the UNC in the first place. The role and function of third parties is not to help the UNC get into government. The role and function of a third party is to represent those persons who are not PNM or UNC till they die, who are bridge constituency persons, who are persons who are independent thinkers. And it is hoped that Mr. Paul Nahus, because he is an honorable man, and he will do the honorable thing, and he would obviously sooner or later resign from the NTA, but also it is expected that he will also resign as an alderman. But it shows the incompetence of the UNC government at the time, because Anand Ramlogan, based on his failure, he drafted a law for aldermen that you are in the local government election, if a party accumulates a certain number of votes, it allows them to have an alderman. So the political leader of the national executive will recommend somebody as the alderman, but you cannot move the alderman. I mean, that is madness. So if the alderman is incompetent, if the alderman is absent, if the alderman decides to cross the floor, you cannot. That shows the incompetence of the UNC government and Anand Ramlogan to have an alderman, and the alderman must resign on his own, because Paul Nahus was given that position based on the accumulation of votes by NTA supporters, people who voted for the NTA. So if you're no longer a member of the NTA, I would expect him to do the honorable thing and resign as an alderman, resign from the NTA, and then we will appoint somebody who represents the needs of the NTA supporters. Failure to do that would show lack of ethics, it will show lack of professionalism, and if that is the case, well, then he belongs in the UNC, because that is not accepted here. You came in here as an NTA member, you got the alderman position, we'd expect you to do the honorable thing now and resign. Failure for you to do that, it shows you lack integrity, because now you intend to hold on to a position based on NTA voters putting you there. But it also shows the incompetence of the UNC legal department, the UNC government, by putting a law and not allowing it that the political leader and the party can change aldermen. It goes right back to our principles to all. Leadership, accountability, management, and measurement of performance. If you don't have accountability, if you cannot measure performance of an alderman, and the alderman is failing miserably to look after the well-being of the NTA voters who put him there or her there, how it is then that we can remove the person if you can't measure their performance? So you measure their performance, show that the person is incompetent or whatever, and you can't move them because you didn't put a law to allow the political leader or the party to remove the person if the person is not performing well. So it is hoped that he would do the honorable thing, as I said, it is their right. If people want to make a shift left or right, do it, but do the right thing. I want to speak about an election about choice. That is what this election is about. We have selected 17 candidates, and it is my honor to be on that political battlefield with the 16 other candidates. I am proud to be next to them. I'm proud to work alongside them.
Trinidad!
The reason I said that is that we had dozens of other persons who applied. There was somebody was asking about Davian. We had 3 persons, and none of them stepped up to the standard we expected. We had very high standards, and that's why when we selected these individuals, we did a lot of due diligence, research, background checking. My God, you swear that you all were going in special branch. But we wanted to make sure that these individuals had the character, the discipline, the political maturity, and the patriotism to serve this country and serve them well. And what I have seen just here today with the 4 speakers, you all have stepped up to such a level and a standard. I am proud to say that I am a member of the NTA. And in contrast, we have seen other candidates. There are candidates that are walking around with gang members. There are candidates who, when it is that I was Minister of National Security and Commissioner of Police, are arresting gang leaders. The very next day, he's there at Golden Groves, getting them out, getting them released. And as I said, people will say that's their right. But it is equivalent, as I'll keep saying, that you're in charge of a cow petting zoo in the day and you're in charge of an abattoir in the night. You can't do that. You are an attorney. Your job is to release every single criminal that they could have, but then you want to be in a National Security Council to guard and defend the citizens who are under the barrel of the gun by those same criminal elements. There are other political parties that have individuals who hold senior political positions that went out of their way to give every single gang leader massive state contracts. There are individuals who are romantically involved with every gang leader. I am proud to say that no one in the 17 candidates here can ever match that type of level, and it shows why the NTA stands up above the rest. I have seen it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly of this election. This is our last major political meeting. On Saturday, we will have our motorcade. I hope to see all of you all there. And the things that I have seen of persons putting $350 in a jersey and bribing people not to vote, giving people refrigerators and stoves. For God's sake, you tried that in 2020. You gave away 600 refrigerators and stoves and still lost a marginal by 2,000 votes. You come back with your nonsense again. If it is you could operate in such an unethical manner before you get in government, imagine how they will operate when they get into government. And it shows, again, it shows the standard. I have asked all 16 candidates alongside myself and said, do not in any way break the law during this campaign. I asked the media and all of you all, just look to your right and look at the walls. Every single wall in St. Joseph has been totally defaced by the PNM and the UNC. Stickers, posters on lampposts, on telephone poles, on walls, in the roads. They have broken the law. It is against the law. It is a criminal offense. In 2020, I made it known, and that's why it's the first election ever Trinidad and Tobago was not destroyed and defaced. But you want to get in government, but you're actually condoning and allowing illegal activities to take place. And that cannot happen. We have to reach a point in our life where we cannot sell our soul to get in government. Because when you do that, there's going to be a price to pay. We have been breaking the law. We have been giving gang leaders and promising them massive state contracts. We did the same thing in 2010. And the country paid a price by over 40 young men being killed through live sport. We are going through life sport reloaded by a political party going out of their way and are telling gang leaders, get all the youths that are under your command to vote for my party, and we will make sure you get massive state contracts. Don't feel that I can't do it. I did it when I was in the UNC government, and I gave a gang leader a state contract to build a police station. I was the Minister of National Security. So when people tell me, Gary, why it is you're not working with the UNC? Because I stand to a standard, and I'm not going to condone myself by affiliating with criminal elements. Before I start on the policies, and again, I want to go back into the situation of be careful who you select in the next government. Choose your leaders wisely. I always state that you cannot expect to lead a country if you hate half of the country. And that is what we see. We have continued to see it. A political party could reach a point of hiring an individual that will say the nastiest things about people. He attacked my wife. He attacked my children. He said the most disgusting things about other individuals. He referred to people as canal conch, latrine rats. He said that people must burn just like how the member of parliament was burned. When you have an individual saying that, that is the same individual now. I mean, he has been sued constantly, which is why I'm glad he sued me, because his attorneys have a 100% record of losing every case. So I'm looking forward to go to court with him. But when you can make statements like that outside of parliament, imagine if you all give this character some degree of authority to be in parliament, where you have parliamentary privileges and he can say what he wants. We do not want those individuals. We want people who have the character, the charisma to serve this country, not to be arrogant, not to be obnoxious, not to be self-centered. This individual calls himself a corruption buster, and this is why I'm asking this country, choose your leaders wisely. We have to select people with track record. They have individuals in that party, no training, no qualification, no experience in anything at all, but they call themselves corruption busters. The one thing that we can speak about that is the biggest concern in this country is national security. It is your most fundamental right to live. By you blindly supporting PNM or NTA or UNC, that's not going to help you. I am asking the country, choose your leaders wisely. You have to look at the track record of the individuals and see whether we have the capability to make Trinidad and Tobago safe again. And that is why I want to speak about policies, because when we speak about policies, one political party, again, I wouldn't call the UNC's name, but every single major political plan they have for national security, they got it here. The Ministry of Justice, I drafted it. And for the lady to have the audacity to say it's not true, I asked her, give me the leeway to show the emails of 2010, pre-2010, when I drafted the Ministry of Justice for you, but you did not have the capability to implement it properly. That would have reduced recidivism by having increased rehabilitation and dealing with problems of people being in remand for 10 years for a maximum sentence as less than 5. I drafted the Ministry of Home Affairs, the Ministry of Defense. I drafted for it to show by shutting down the special anti-crime unit that was costing the country $20 million a month, we could use that same $20 million to give every single police officer, fire officer, prison officer, soldier, sailor, airman, immigration, $1,000 a month. So to each and every member of the protective services and your family, when you see that payslip of $1,000 a month, Gary Griffith was the one who drafted it for you, and it was given. The $1 million that is given to law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty, I drafted it. I did the cabinet note as the Minister of National Security. The Community Comfort Patrol they speak about. So all of these things that they speak about, they do not know how to implement it. What they try to do, everybody wants to, remember the TV series, Everybody Loves Raymond, everybody wants to be like Gary. So she jumps up now and she sees, wait a minute, Gary got a lot of kudos and because he was giving out firearms. So let me do so. Like, remember Oprah Winfrey? You get a thing and you get a gun, you get a gun, everybody get a gun. That is mad people behavior. Anytime we reach to that point of giving a firearm to every single citizen, we are going to end up like the United States. What I did was to ensure that after due diligence, proper evaluation, background check, psychometric testing, speaking to your spouse, financial accounts, looking at speaking to your neighbors, we were able to give out 1,000 firearms a year for law-abiding citizens and 1,000 to law enforcement officials. There are 35,000 persons waiting. So we were able to give out 6,000. So we were getting there. For you to reach a point to say we'll give to anybody who's a law-abiding citizen. You know what it is you're referred to as a law-abiding citizen? Anybody who has a certificate of character. 98% of the country has that. Many of them are criminals. Many beat their wives. Many be involved in all types of activities. Many will be alcoholics. You cannot do that by a certificate of character. Those 1,000 firearms I gave annually, that's roughly just about 3 a day. That took a lot of work. Anytime we go over that, we are going to weaken the system to do due diligence. And what that can turn to is a husband shooting his wife, somebody having a negligent discharge, somebody losing his firearm, somebody putting a gun or losing it because they're intoxicated. That is why I am proud to say that the 6,000 firearms issued under my watch, not one was lost, not one was stolen, not one was used for a crime under my watch, but it saved lives. And which is why I want to go into the most important part of safety and security. Because this is the time we are coming down to countdown, and this is for you, the citizens, to decide what do you want. Are you going to be blinded or PNM till I die? Are you going to support a political party because, look, let me just join the UNC because I just don't like the PNM? Or are you going to do a meticulous check and ascertain to yourself which party is going to make me safer, which is going to deal with my major concerns? And what we intend to do, if given that opportunity, I am just going to give you a short number of things that we did in the past as a Minister of National Security and Commissioner of Police, and what we intend to put in the future. The things that I would have achieved as Commissioner of Police is child's play compared to how we intend to transform national security in this country. And it starts with the Emergency Response Unit. That Emergency Response Unit, you'll be seeing it on advertisements on television shortly. You call 999. And what we are going to do is to revamp the 999 to have 12 persons at all times at that unit. You call 999 now, I dare anyone, they'll put you on hold for 45 minutes or you'll get an answering machine. This 999 will ensure that immediately someone will answer the phone. But it doesn't stop there. This is not just about police. When I traveled to New York, I met with several commissioners of police. I met Mayor Rudy Giuliani. I looked at what they did in 9/11. And what we are going to do is similar. 999, the first thing you're going to get is good morning, good evening, police, health, or fire. You wonder what that's about. So you say health. They then transfer you to a switchboard with qualified medics that are going to ask what is the problem. And they, at the same time, they are going to look on the Operation Command Center, see where your home is, and look for the nearest ambulance in closest proximity to your call. That is going to ensure an immediate response to your distress call. It does not stop there. You've never heard about this before. Whilst you're on the phone, they're going to tell you to stay on the phone. So your father fell, he has collapsed. They're going to advise you how to turn him, how to hold him, what to do. So they're going to have you as a first aid person training and making sure that you can do what is required, and they're going to tell you the time the ambulance will arrive. That has never happened before. This is going to lift our life expectancy tremendously, because I'm sure so many of you all had the problem. A situation took place at your home. You don't know, you can't find the ambulance number. 999 have you on hold. The ambulance, you don't know if they're going to come. This is going to be an immediate emergency response unit for fire, for health, and for police. With the police, it is true, the emergency response patrol, which will be 100 police vehicles strategically placed throughout the country, staying in the area of responsibility based on GPS tracking on these vehicles. That is going to ensure a less than 5-minute response to every distress call. For people who believe, for those who believe that cannot be done, it was done. By last year, under the assessment as Commissioner of Police, response time to distress calls less than 5 minutes. What did that do? That provided a deterrent. That made sure there were consequences, and it took away the perception and fear of crime, knowing that if you call 999, there's a problem, you can have a vehicle turned there immediately. Having the GPS on the police vehicles, we ensure that the country is properly spread. So 2 police officers can't just go and park up by a bar, you park up by a girlfriend. If it is you're going 100 miles or on Rising Road, we can say, wait a minute, we are not at a distress call. That means you're breaking the speed limit, putting on the blue light, and abusing your authority. We'll put checks and balances. We intend to revamp the gender-based violence unit. When we formed that gender-based violence unit, that was to deal with a problem. We keep hearing so much about bullying. When I was in St. Mary's College, which by the way is the best school in Trinidad and Tobago, and who has a problem with that, well, that's your business. And I spent 8 years in St. Mary's College, yes, 8 years, because I didn't want to leave. I just kept repeating and repeating. I could have stayed in St. Mary's till I was in my 30s if I had a chance. But I was always somebody who was there to protect persons from bullies. I was there to fight for those persons who needed to be defended. That is why, as a prefect in St. Mary's College, that's why I spent 17 years in the Defense Force. That's why I was willing to give my life for my country. That is why I became a Minister of National Security. That is why I became Commissioner of Police, to protect and defend those persons who needed to be defended. Fight against bullies. And that was the same reason why I formed the Child Protection Unit and then reinforced it as Minister of National Security. And I'm going to reignite that. That's why I formed the Gender-Based Violence Unit, because I had a problem with abuse of the elderly, abuse of women, abuse of children. And what that Gender-Based Violence Unit did was to ensure, before I got reports of women that might be raped or beaten, and they go into a police station, and when they explain it to the police officer, he will say, well, who tell you to reach home 2 o'clock in the morning? You know why? Because he beats his wife as well. You don't have women who get that type of trauma to go to a police station to make a report. That is backward policing. The Gender-Based Violence Unit, you send that 999, you refer to Gender-Based Violence Unit, you go to the online, we come to your home. It's a delivery service. If you are beaten, battered, raped, bruised, we come to your home. You're not supposed to come to a station and then sit down there for 24 hours waiting until the police have the persons to check you. And that Gender-Based Violence Unit is going to ensure that it will cause confidence yet again. There was a massive increase in reports. It didn't mean that more persons were involved in beating their wives. It meant that women felt comfortable to know, I could afford to make this report on you, and I know you can't go by your police partner to cover you. And that, by doing that, we started targeting the perpetrators. So that Gender-Based Violence Unit will be reignited. We intend to form something known as WOLF, the Weaponized Operation Land Force. If you recall what I did with the Special Operation Response Team, that had 100 of the best in the police service. This 1,000 would be the best, most highly trained persons in the protective services of Trinidad and Tobago. Police, Army, Coast Guard, Customs, Immigration, Fire, Prisons, Air Guard. Highly trained, all polygraphed. And they're going to take the fight to this country. We have a war. We have a nation to defend. And this weaponized Operation Land Force is going to turn the screws and win back this country from the criminal elements. We intend to form the Maritime Security Wall, which is something I drafted as the National Security Advisor, but the UNC did not have a clue how to implement it. It is a 3-tiered approach. That from the shoreline to 2 miles out, we will have interceptors. We will have the Police Marine Branch, which I reignited after 30 years being dormant. We will have from 2 miles to 12 miles out, medium-range vessels. And from 12 miles to 200 miles out, we will be securing our exclusive economic zone, which has all of our major assets. This will all be covered by something we never had before, drones. I'm not talking about Toys R Us drones. I am talking about drones that can turn night into day, go 2 kilometers in the air, lock onto a vessel, lock onto a vehicle, and pinpoint the perpetrators who continue to bring illegal weapons, drugs, and deal with human trafficking. We intend, for the first time in the history of Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, I brought in body cameras. As soon as I left, they put it on the side. I made it mandatory, a standard operational procedure. You must have the body cameras on. They have refused. We will enforce the body cameras. You don't wear the body cameras, I suspend you and send you home. We will give you back. We put tasers. We gave them pepper spray. They have refused to give to the officers. That ensured minimum use of force policy. So you have the body cameras, you have the radios, you have the tasers, you have the pepper spray. The firearm being the last use. We'll reignite the operational command center, which was dealing with every single thing, monitoring everybody, making sure all the units can work together in a cohesive manner. We will reignite the social media monitoring unit, which assisted greatly in being able to monitor things that are being said by criminal elements to solve crime and to prevent crime from happening, because a lot of these gangsters, they love to boast on social media. And we were able to do what is known as predictive policing, anticipating the situation and preventing the murder from taking place. My SWAT boys will, you know how many vehicles they intercepted, persons on their way to take out a prison officer, and these are the things that could have actually stopped the situation in the airport, because you will get that intelligence, but you don't have an operational team to link with that intelligence unit. The police marine unit, that for the first time, as I said, in 30 years, we reignited the police marine unit. It has been shut down. We are going to bring it back to secure our borders. We are going to utilize the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. I was the youngest officer to serve this country during the attempted coup. I just returned from Sandhurst. And I said, right, this is what it's all about. And then for 17 years, I was like, just waiting for action. And I'm in Camp Ogden, playing football, training, waiting to come out there and serve this country. We have 5,000 members of the Defense Force waiting for another war since 1990. That is unacceptable. These men are highly trained, and women. They are highly trained to become an aid to civil power and to support the police. I am going to ensure we put them out there and do what is required. We have a war to win, and we intend to utilize all our resources, inclusive of our manpower strength. We intend to implement the Border Protection Unit. That Border Protection Unit, again, it will have qualified persons. 95% of illegal weapons that enter our country come through the legitimate ports of entry, containers. 10 containers go missing every single year. So when police sees 500 weapons for the year, you could have one container just get out because of a questionable customs officer, a stevedore, a security guard, and 5,000 illegal firearms are out in the streets. That Border Protection Unit, yet again, will have polygraph persons from customs, immigration, police, private security, guards watching the guards to make sure we can secure our legitimate ports of entry. We'll reignite polygraph testing and drug testing. We'll reignite the cold case unit that I brought that has been shut down. The police academy, we will ensure that the batches of recruits will be 350 instead of 100 to ensure we can finally come up to our established strength. We'll reignite the online reporting. We'll reignite the police app that was the largest app in the country. We'll reignite. I drafted the school security unit, which would have pinpointed 30 of the most high-risk schools, and then have covert operative undercover officers in the schools that nobody even knows about. So they will be able to pinpoint who are the gangs, who's selling drugs, who have illegal weapons, who are the bad boys. We will launch the appointment for detectives for special investigations. I intend to have the Police Complaint Authority. They are toothless bulldogs. That Professional Standards Bureau in the police service has become littered with irregularities. It has caused commissioners to be arrested, It has caused persons to be promoted after they were charged. It has caused officers to hold that position to try to bust the throat of another police officer because they want to get promoted. No, the Police Complaint Authority is supposed to have the investigative power to not just to investigate, but to arrest, and have them separate and apart from the police service, but give them that investigative authority similar to the internal affairs in the United States. I'm speaking a lot about operational. This is primary crime prevention, hard targeting, deterrence, law enforcement. But there's also something known as secondary crime prevention, getting young persons away from a life of crime, which is why I continue to say that sport can play a very big part. We built an AstroTurf with taxpayers' money in St. James Barracks. For 3 years, they've refused to use it. That is for the youths. They've refused to use it because Gary Griffith established it. We were going to set up crossroads, 1,000 police officers, highly trained to be able to understand young persons to become big brothers to 1,000 at-risk youths. Instead of a state of emergency, we will have the national security alert state, color-coded from green to amber to red to black. Based on the escalation, we will intensify our operations. We will reignite the energy sector security initiative. What is that? That is what, had that been there, that I established as Minister of National Security, the problems in Paria would not have taken place. When I listen to this stupidity by politicians, who is this, somebody who's a civilian cannot press the button to make the call for an operation. The Energy Sector Security Initiative, similar to the National Operations Center, which I also ignited, was there to ensure that you have the proper persons with the training and the capability in law enforcement to make that judgment call. This is what we need. This is where we go. They were twiddling their fingers during Paria because nobody knew what to do, and no civilian will have the operational capability or the knowledge to know if to make that judgment call to put further risk to someone. Because they shut down the Energy Sector Security Initiative, because they refused to utilize the National Operations Center properly, that is what caused the problem, and people were twiddling their thumbs. We intend to reignite the Highway Patrol Unit. Persons who, so if you're ever lucky and you want to go to the other side of the pond, to the United Kingdom, now you need visas. This was not the first. When I was Minister of National Security, the UK said, we are imposing visas on you. I was told that I asked, please, let me know how we can stop it. They say you can't stop it. 10 other countries. I said, just let me know what is required. They gave us 12 things to do in 6 months. We had to put K9, we had to put walk-through scanners, we had to put undercover officers, we had to do intensive training. We were able to establish everything, and the other 9 countries, the visas were imposed, and they said, thank you, Minister Griffith, because you did what was required. The British government have now agreed that the UK visa will not be imposed. Because of the incompetence of Fitzgerald Hines, failure for him to continue what I was doing is what has caused this. I promise you, if I'm in the position, I can speak the same way that they agreed and allowed me to do what is required to have the visas not imposed. I can do the same thing now to have the visas lifted. And as it pertains to the police officers, massive training in public relations, customer service, and all of these things. What is the end result of all of this? The end result of all of this is it led to the highest reduction in violent crime in 17 years, the highest reduction in serious crime in 31 years. It caused public trust and confidence in the police service to move from 14% to 59%. Now it's down to 8%. It caused public confidence in the Commissioner of Police to be 79%, the highest of any public servant in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. It put crime as the number 4 concern behind health, education, and the economy. In other words, what we can do, what we promise you, is we can make Trinidad and Tobago safe again. We actually put an end to kidnapping. Never happened before. We were able to use technology that is there. The technology was there to ensure that 12 persons who were kidnapped, we were able to pinpoint where they were, rescue them, kick down the doors, intercept vehicles, and arrest the kidnappers whilst freeing the victim. That has, you'll see that on television. That special operation response team that old McDonald Jacob deliberately shut down. They know what they did. They moved after SWAT was dealing with human trafficking, massive drugs, illegal weapons seizing, rescuing kidnapped victims, putting the fear in criminals. He changed that and formed a new team called the National Operation Task Force. You ever heard about them? For the last 4 years, their biggest success have been to arrest an old lady for selling school books on the pavement. And that is what they did instead of SWAT. So we intend to put back the things that can make you all feel safe again. And before I speak about the manifesto, I want to just quickly speak about what they will say. They will say, well, no, the UNC was good. We were good in national security. This is national security of the People's Partnership in 2010 to 2013, before Gary Griffith was minister. They shut down SWAT. They shut down the blimp. They shut down the OPVs. They hired Rishmi Ramnarine. They removed Dwayne Gibbs. They replaced Dwayne Gibbs with Stephen Williams. Yes, Stephen Williams. They went and they called a state of emergency because they couldn't deal with crime. And then they arrested 500 young men for no reason at all. 2013 to 2015 with Gary Griffith was all the things I just spoke about: the Emergency Response Patrol, the Emergency Response Center, the National Operations Center, the National Security Training Academy, the National Security Special Operation Group, Community Patrol. So we have shown that we have the capability to make this country safe again. We will deal with rogue elements in the police service. We will do all that is required. So you have to make your choice. Do you want to have individuals who have the capability to secure you, or do you want to have individuals that will bring back live sport, that will give gang leaders state contracts to build police stations, that will have politicians romantically involved with gang leaders, that you will have individuals who will want to be a politician at day, but at night you're attorney and trying to get them released out of prison? You have to make that choice. And before you make that choice, we have to look at, again, the manifesto. The NTA to the media and to the public, we do not have a manifesto. So people say, oh, what, you don't have a manifesto? Because a manifesto has been something for the last 60 years in the country, been nothing more than lies. You have misled the country, because the manifesto is something this is my Christmas shopping list, and I'm telling you, we are going to have bridges that will go from Trinidad to Tobago. We are going to build skyscrapers to the moon, and tell you all the fancy things you want to hear, but they are not stating how you're getting the revenue to offset that expenditure, which means firstly it is a lie. Secondly, if they intend to implement it and they don't have the revenue to offset the expenditure, what is going to happen is that they're either going to devalue the dollar, they're going to take a loan, or they're going to increase taxes, which is all a byproduct towards the increase in the cost of goods and services, the increase in inflation, the increase in unemployment, byproduct to increased crime. That is not how you deal with it. Our roadmap towards transformation is treating this government and the country as a business, where every single cent we will monitor. We will take away wastage, take away corruption, take away mismanagement. You feel it can't be done? As the Commissioner of Police, I never asked Minister Dwayne Imbut for a cent, but and he actually reduced the police budget by 200 million. Yet I was able to implement all the things I spoke about: the National Operations Center, body cameras, tasers, pepper spray, the police marine unit. Why? Because we looked at every single cent spent, and I was able to pinpoint $100 million per annum in overtime alone, overtime corruption, with 200 police officers claiming they were working 24 hours a day, 30 days a month. And by taking that 100 million, you were able to utilize the funds in an efficient and effective manner to provide everything that the police needed. So when people saw Gary Griffith doing all of these things, I didn't get extra money. Same thing I did as Minister of National Security. And it was the largest budget I had of all ministers. So if anybody has the capability to run a country on this budget, it is Gary Griffith, because I had the highest budget of any minister in the People's Partnership Administration.
Yeah!
So we need to be very careful not to be fooled by individuals. I'm wrapping up in 10 minutes, I promise. By individuals who are going to give you all of these fancy things. There's a political party that went on Google, 50 ways to improve health. And when you look at it, every single thing is $100 million each. That's $5 billion. Where are you getting it from? They included things such as our health unit for Point Lisas, where nobody has been burnt there in 50 years. You have to look at cost-benefit analysis. You have to look at preventative maintenance. You have to look at the needs. You have to look at the training. You have to look at the quality of the staff. You have to look at the staffing. You have to look at the demand. You don't just come up with ideas and everybody blowing a horn in your political meeting. We are going to be very careful, and not to say we are going to be stingy, but we have to be careful. We have spent and wasted billions in incompetence, mismanagement, and corruption. State boards, for example, we intend to ensure, do you know that persons who are appointed in state boards, they don't need to check to see if they have any qualification in tandem with the organization or the unit that they are appointed in? You know what is your qualification? Your party card. So if the PNM is in power, once you have PNM, I'll give you a walk in a state board. So whether it is flour mills, whether it is Petrotrin, there was a man who was in charge of Petrotrin under the People's Partnership. The man didn't have a clue. He didn't know the difference. He would have probably put diesel in his car that needed premium gas. And he was in charge of Petrotrin. And that is the type of madness we had in this country, and it has not stopped. We have individuals, whether it's lake asphalt, whatever, no qualification, no training, no experience in the field. And then we wonder why all our state boards, we lose tens upon tens of millions of dollars monthly. It is because of incompetent people without the training, the qualification, or knowledge in the field that are appointed as a payback and thank you for supporting us. Trinidad and Tobago, I intend, again, for us to find ways to lift the standard of living in Trinidad and Tobago. It is not just about national security. I can give you a quick example before I close on health. We are hearing political parties speak about what is going to deal with health after the fact. So you get a heart attack, we're going to have every medical center be able to operate on you with the heart attack. No. For persons who are not aware, Trinidad and Tobago is ranked 110th in the world as it pertains to life expectancy. 110th. And because our life expectancy is 73 years, probably not too bad. Other countries, some in Africa and stuff, it's about 50, in the mid-50s. That's 200, 205th. But why we have to be 110th? Why we have to be in the middle of the table? My intention is for us, our life expectancy to get to over 80. And that is the top 45 countries in the world. And how can we do that? We're not going to do that by after the fact. We're now going to see about you. There are three main that will cause death in this country. Diabetes, heart, and cancer. And with those three, what happens is that many persons, because they do not have the finance to do the preventative check-in, the primary health care, it is only after they start to feel the pain, they then start going to the hospital. Mammogram, $200. People say it's $200. That's a lot of money for some people. What do you call this thing? What do you call this thing, Russell, when you're over 50? Colonoscopy. You really don't want to go through that. Yeah. But that costs as well. But that is to check to see if you have prostate cancer. To do a PET scan is $25,000. But what happens, because the persons, we don't have the capability, we then automatically wait until we start feeling the pain. You start feeling the pain. So for example, heart, every artery, we love the doubles, we love the roti, we love the KFC, we love the fried chicken. Bam, you start to feel the pain. Cholesterol clogged, $140,000 in a medical center, or you have to be waiting in line for the next 6 months. By that time, the cholesterol has damaged your artery to the point that it damages your heart, and it has reduced your life expectancy. Our intention is to make sure that the public has the facilities for primary health care, give you the capacity to be tested for cancer, for diabetes, for heart, so that you will know in advance. The faster you pick up these ailments, the greater chance it is for us to minimize it, because things such as cancer and stuff is no longer a life and death if you pick up these things early. But we have no political party speaking about this. As I close, I want to tell Trinidad and Tobago, unlike other political parties, we intend to unite this country, not divide. The politicians have divided Trinidad and Tobago for far too long. People say, well, how could we be in government? If it's 2021, what could happen? Could Gary Griffith decide to say, let us form a country of national unity by bringing the whole country together? Quite possible. That's what Basio Pandey asked for. It may just be the opportunity. But whatever it is, we intend to find ways to unite the nation. As I said, the politicians have continued to divide the country. They have made themselves not accessible. The same way I made myself accessible, I have asked the 16 candidates here, if you do win, hopefully you do, make yourself accessible. Don't be walking for the whole campaign and then shaking hands, kissing babies, and then you cannot find the member of parliament. I would like, again, before I close, I would like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you all here. You all have operated in a tremendous manner. You have done well. We have gone through a very, very difficult period, but I hope that you all enjoyed it. We are here to try to find avenues, to find ways to make Trinidad and Tobago a better country. It has been a very difficult period for me and for my family. I wish to thank so many people here for what we have been going through. I wish to thank even each and every member of one political party. They contacted us. I wish to thank Dr. Tim Gopi Singh and one other person from the other party who contacted us. And nobody else did, but it says a lot about them. All I could ask is that what we are here about today is to make sure we can make this a better country. It has been a difficult time for us. We have received tremendous support, not just for the NTA, but for my family. And with this, I'd just like to, before I close, I would just like to ask my family if they just come forward, because had it not been for you all, I certainly would not have been able to go through what I have gone through over the last few weeks. So, to my family, Gary and Nicole. And remember one thing, other persons wearing a different political party jersey, they are not the enemy, they are political opponents. We have a good country with good people. Politicians have divided the country. And as I said just before I close, we have a motorcade on Saturday. I would like to ask all of you all to attend. And I would like to ask my political leader, my boss, Gary Griffith, before we close, to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is, as you know, please, thank you. I appreciate it. Please, have a seat. As you know, this is a break in protocol because after the political leader speaks, that's the end of it. So thank you for inviting me here. Not that I wanted to do this, but I am here by the grace of God. And if you believe that, say amen. Let's just do that once again. I am not going to get rowdy. I told him, do not put me in front of a mic. Because I said I don't want to do this, but I am here by the grace of God. If you believe that, let me hear you say amen. I want to take this opportunity to sincerely thank every single person in Trinidad and Tobago for the incredible outpouring of love and support that we've all received during this very challenging period. I mean, I know during the campaign you would have seen Gary going through it and appearing normal. It's not a normal experience at all. And the reason why he can speak so passionately about the issues pertaining to primary, secondary, and tertiary healthcare is because we live it, we know it, we have to figure it out, and we're going through it. But by the grace of God, we go through it with our head held high and a smile on our face and your support. And that's how we're able to do it each time, every time. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you for that, because without you, and when I speak to you, thank you, love you. When I say you, I mean the collective you. All of you in Trinidad and Tobago. And sometimes we forget how wonderful we are as a people. Sometimes we forget how wonderful we are as a people and who we really are. Sometimes we remember it when it's carnival time, or when it's Borrow Day down in Point Fortin, or when it's something else where we all come together and there's a lime and a party and a drama. But in times like this, in times of what we are managing now, where you get the outpouring from persons who may not know you from paint on the wall, but they're walking up to you and they're hugging you and they're praying for you and they want to kiss you and they want to wish you the best, that is when we remember who we are. Because the DNA of who we are as Trinbagonians is a DNA that cannot be broken. We are special people, and our DNA demonstrates that the way we treat each other is inbred within our society. And the reason why I want to raise that is because during the political experiences, sometimes we tend to forget how special and how wonderful we are. Sometimes we tend to be divided by colors, and divided by borders, and divided by letters, and divided by all sorts of foolishness. But I want to remind you that come in the evening at 6 p.m. on April the 28th, we become one people yet again. This morning I sent a message to the candidates, and in that message, and it was just to build them up, because I will tell you, we have been doing this by spinning gold from straw. We do not have the resources of other political entities. We don't. But what we lack in resources, we have made up with audacity. What we lack in gold, we have made up with our minds. What we lack in money, we have made up with creativity and innovation. And toward that end, I would like to call Tim. Come, Tim. Marcus. Where's Marcus? Marcus. Where is Lorraine? One of our deputy political leaders, Lorraine Pouchette, and Tashona Griffith Baines. Those are the people. They are the engine room of what made this happen. 4 or 5 people. That's it. The engine room of what made this happen. Vindra. Where's Vindra? Vindra. How could I forget Vidra? The engine room of what made this possible. Without these persons, this would not have been possible. And they do it not because we could give them the remuneration to do it. The things that we have asked of and from them 24 hours a day, sometimes 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, we get an idea, we call Tim, he makes it happen. You cannot buy that dedication. You cannot buy that from anybody. And that is what makes this organization special. And that is what makes us special as Trinbagonians. Because at the end of it all, I don't care what color you wear, what party you use, what anything. I care about us as Trinbagonians because I felt the love from everybody. And I want this to continue after April the 28th. I want to call up on stage all of our candidates. Where are our candidates? Please come on stage. Oh God, DJ, well, I can hype it up a little bit now.
Woo! You know, it's all about NTA. Here we go. Somebody say NTA, NTA, NTA,
Come on, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we have here 17 candidates. And these 17 candidates are representatives of the Davids moving forward in this upcoming election on Monday, the 28th of April. They will be your Davids going against the Goliaths on either side. And I want you to make sure that you go out there and that you support each and every one of these Davids because they are not going with much. They are going with audacity. They are going with drive. They are going with hope. They are going with faith. And ladies and gentlemen, come Monday, the 28th of April, these Davids will do what must be done against the Goliath. So with that, I would like to thank all of you. I would like to recognize and not only support our Davids, but I want to recognize and say a special thank you to every single candidate from every political party. Because let me tell you, offering yourself in service is not an easy task. So every candidate, on behalf of the National Transformation Alliance, we say thank you. We wish you all the very best. And to Trinidad and Tobago, remember, come 6 p.m. on the 28th of April, we are one Trinidad and Tobago. I love you. Thank you.
Woo-hoo! Chutney time! What is it? I listening to everybody. They want something new for the country. So the people say they voted for NTA. All the people say they voted for NTA. Voting NTA, voting NTA. All the people say they voted for NTA. Voting NTA, voting NTA. On election day we voted for NTA. Yeah, on election day we voted for NTA. Yeah. Or they could come here now. Or they could come here now. Don't frighten you now. Come in. The people in Point want someone with vision. The people in Point want to move beyond. So the people for Mr. Aaron Fabian. Yes, they voted for Mr. Aaron Fabian. They voted Fabian. They voted Fabian. On the election day, they voted Aaron Fabian. Mr. Aaron Fabian. He is the one. So on the election day, we voted Aaron Fabian. All the people say they voted Aaron Fabian. Oh, Errol and Gary, them care about we. Errol and Gary is love and safety. So all election day, NTA all the way. All election day, NTA all the way. Voting NTA, voting NTA. All the people say they voted for NTA. Voting NTA, voting NTA. All the say NTA all the way. On election day we say we NTA. Oh, yeah. NTA. Hey. Give me the blue, give me the blue, give me the blue, give me the blue, give me the blue. Woo! Yeah, baby, you know it's all about NTA. Here we go. Somebody say NTA, 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 NTA. Let me go blue. We vote in NTA. Go blue. Gary Griffith, that's the right. Go blue. Gary Griffith, that's the plan. Go blue. So let us save our nation. Hey! NT, NT, we vote in NTA. Vote in, vote in, we vote in NTA. Vote in, vote in, we vote in NTA. Vote in, we vote in, we vote in NTA. Listen, criminals everywhere. Robberies, sleeping murder. You know, yeah. When Gary was on top, look how the crime rate drop. Uploading like a clown, gonna chat face reappointment. Hold on. Gary Griffith wanna serve. Give the country what they deserve. You know he does guy locked. Put the criminals straight out to the park. We vote in NTA. Go blue. NTA is the way. Go blue. Gary Griffith got the plan. So let us save our nation. Hey! NT, NT, we vote in NTA. Vote in, vote in, we vote in NTA. Vote in, vote in, we vote in NTA. Vote in, we vote in, we vote in NTA. We want better for TNT. We want good governance. That's fantasy. NTA, NTA. National Transform Alliance. That's the party, that's the party. Give Gigi a chance. We gonna make sure no deal with the matter because the times will tough. Let me see your hands up. You're good to go on. I tell no lie, you are the man. Hey, Hayden. Gary. Hey. Easy. My friends, on behalf of the NTA, we say thank you. We say God bless you. We say to keep yourself calm through the weekend. We have a mission. Keep your focus. Keep your focus. On the Monday, we have a mission. Get your rest Sunday evening. Wake up early Monday. Make sure your business in order. Make sure you know you have any transport. Organize for your children and everything. Get to your polling stations and put your X next to the NTA. Let's transform TNT, my friends.